Hey, I haven't made a video in a little bit. Switching over to a new camera here, having all kinds of issues with that, but oh well. We'll deal with that. Having just a few things with audio quality and other technical stuff, and the fact that now I'm using a front-facing camera, which means I keep wanting to make eye contact with myself instead of with the camera, but that's not such a big deal. Anyway, let's get on to this here. What is today about? Well, we're talking about porn, as usual. And today in particular, we are going to talk about the tough days. The days when it's really difficult to do this whole not watching porn thing. Because here's the thing. The tough days are going to come. Whether it's in your first week or later down the road. I've been off porn for a year now, and this past week or two, I mean, just being honest with you, it has been difficult. And that may come as kind of a surprise, and it sort of did for me, because I had been coasting for a little while before that, didn't really have a lot of difficulties, and then all of a sudden, just kind of out of nowhere, it's like, whoa, hold on, you gotta start watching myself now. So, that might sound a little bit discouraging, because it sounds like, oh, you're gonna be fighting this thing forever, and it's never just gonna go away for good, and blah, 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 blah. But it shouldn't be discouraging, it shouldn't sound like that, and I'll get into why that is in a minute here. But first, let's talk about what you do on these tough days. Well, on the tough days, you do the same thing that you've got to do, I mean, starting off. For me, being off porn for a year now, I am doing the same stuff that I was doing at the beginning to get out of this. And in particular, right now, the big things are just raw discipline and willpower. I've talked about that before. There's a lot of just this no compromise, that mindset. And I've talked about that too. Just this idea of not even yielding like an inch of ground, not even taking that first step that historically has led you back into watching porn. Just absolute refusal to compromise even a little bit. Just complete stubbornness and unyieldingness in the face of this temptation. Another thing has been talking to myself, and I know that's one of the hokier kind of things here, but I mean, it's real and it works. Your brain is very good at kind of quietly rationalizing the things that you want to do. But what you have to do is you've got to call it out, and you've got to force yourself to have this conversation and replace that rationalization with actual reasoning. What am I doing here? What's going on? What is this going to lead to? What has this led to in the past? What's the real payoff to this? You have to have that conversation with yourself and kind of corner yourself and see, what am I actually doing here? What's really going on? What's actually on the table here? So yeah, have that conversation with yourself and talk to yourself about what you're really being tempted to do, what it's going to lead to. Talk about where it's led in the past, how you felt before. What are the things that got you to where you decided that you were going to quit this? Do you want to relive that again? Do you want to experience the regret that you used to have when you relapsed? Remember all those things and use them as weapons, okay? Use them as motivators here. That's really useful. So really, I mean, it's all just the same stuff I've been talking about all this time. I really do eat my own cooking here. Everything I tell you guys is from personal experience. That's what all my videos are. And it's all stuff that I've got to remember and I've got to keep in mind too, because it applies to me just as much as it always did. So, remember all this stuff. Remember your tactics and your strategies and your mindsets. Remember everything, because you don't know when you're going to need it in the future. And it'll come in handy. Now, that's about it there. I mean, for details and stuff, there's so much information out there. I've done 20-something, maybe 30 videos talking about all the different aspects of this battle, so check all those out. There's resources on other websites too. Your Brain on Porn is good. Fight the New Drug is good. All this good stuff is out there. You get that accountability too. That's another one I forgot to mention. Accountability is a huge one. I'm still involved in accountability groups. I have people in my life who I talk to about it. That's really, really valuable for you no matter where you're at. Okay? Now, as to the other thing I mentioned about why this shouldn't sound discouraging. Let's go ahead and get into that. The reason it might sound discouraging, I believe, is because when we talk about fighting porn addiction or resisting this kind of temptation, if you're starting off and you're not having a lot of success, then in your mind you associate that with losing over and over and over and over again, because that's what your experience has been, just losing over and over again. It feels terrible. And if that's all it was, if that's what fighting porn really meant, then yeah, that would suck to have to do that for the rest of your life. But that's not what it means. And once you learn to fight it, once you learn to beat it, fighting porn turns into winning over and over and over and over again. And that does not suck at all. And you still have these benefits to fighting and resisting temptation. You know, it builds your willpower, it builds your discipline, it builds that character. And these are all good things to have in your life. Don't view this as a problem. View this as an opportunity for growth, okay? Because that's what it is. All of this resistance is still going to train you and make you stronger and improve your ability to, really function more effectively in life. You're going to discipline yourself. You're going to learn to control yourself, to control your desires and your urges. And that's going to have a lot of payoff just in different areas of your life, anywhere where discipline and willpower is applicable. So don't take that for granted. See this for what it is. It's an opportunity for growth. But you've got to learn to fight it. You've got to learn to beat it, okay? And turn this into winning over and over and over again instead of losing over and over and over again, okay? That's why it shouldn't be discouraging. It should be very encouraging, okay? You're always going to have that opportunity for growth, but you've got to turn it into that first. It'll only be that when you learn to defeat it and get it under control, all right? So, that's about it for now. I think that about covers everything I want to say for the time being, so check out my other videos. There's so much stuff. I'm not really into just making 30 videos about the exact same thing. They all cover different aspects of the subject here. I hope they're all really useful, so make use of those. Y'all have a wonderful porn-free day, week, rest of your life, all that good stuff. Stay in prayer, stay accountable. Subscribe if you want to keep up with these in the future. I don't really have a whole lot left to talk about on this particular subject, so I'm going to start branching out here. We'll see what I cover, but anyway, we'll get into that later. In the meantime, y'all take care. Take it easy, but not too easy. And kill this thing. You can do it. All right? That's it. Have a good day, and I will talk to you guys later.